What's going on, YouTube? What's going on? So, I just discovered um, this video on YouTube. I found it in my feed, and it says, very, very painful 2 weeks ahead. Donald Trump warns Americans to be prepared. This was this was something that he announced yesterday, March 31st. I made a video a couple days ago on March 30th. And it was my opinion that these next 2 weeks were going to be very, very difficult. Um, and I'm not sure if it was for the same reasons Donald Trump and his team members and are saying. I don't think it's the same reason. I could be wrong. But I'm going to play this clip a little bit so that you can hear what he had to say.
That's why we really have to do what we all know is right. I want every American to be prepared for the hard days that lie ahead. We're going to go through a very tough 2 weeks. And then hopefully, as the experts are predicting, as I think a lot of us are predicting after having studied it so hard, you're going to start seeing some real light at the end of the tunnel. But this is going to...
So, why are we going to face a very tough 2 weeks? The experts are saying more people, the experts, meaning the medical experts, in my opinion, are saying that more people will contract COVID, more people will become sick as a result of contracting COVID, and more people will die, right? Will succumb to the illness, will succumb to the virus, coronavirus. Okay. But why say now is going to be an interesting 2 weeks? Or not interesting. Why declare that now of all times, this is going to be a very painful 2 weeks? Why now? Is it because in addition to what the medical staff or personnel are saying, the medical people, the leading medical advisors or professionals believe that, there's going to be high rates of contraction and death from COVID? Or is it because folks are not going to receive their unemployment within the next week or 2 weeks yet? Is it because that it's going to take at least 3 weeks for people to receive their first stimulus relief check? Is it because that there are many who are not receiving any income whatsoever right now, who used to work? There are workers who are out of work, who are not going to receive their unemployment yet, who have no cash reserves, who have no savings, who have nothing at all, and will have to make a way to survive for the next 2 weeks. I don't know. Very, very painful. Excuse that. Rude interruption. Very, very painful. Yeah, it's going to be very, very painful on the medical front and the financial front. Again, this is a recipe for disaster. People really have to, those who think it's going to be easy, it's not. It's not. And I personally, I'm in an area, I'm in New York City. Like, we all know we have the highest rates of COVID. And many people over here are not working. So what's the next 2 weeks going to look like? That's why I say each day is like an eternity. Each moment drags and drags and drags. Okay? Each day is moving, each moment moves slow, like molasses, like snails, crawling. Time is just crawling because it's that real. It's in the air. And now for the president to say that the next 2 weeks will be painful and not acknowledge the economic piece, because the stimulus package was just signed, I guess, into law last Friday. Last Friday. And even when there were talks about, what the stimulus package was going to look like, why didn't anyone, or maybe people did, and it's just me talking, but when they were talking about how the first check would reach the hands of the American workers on April 6th, that should have been highlighted on a high level, because April 6th is not April 1st when rent is due. Most places, people have until the 5th to pay their rent before they start incurring late fees, and before, landlords start taking extra measures, punitive measures, if you will. April 6th, we need to put this money in the hands of the American people right away. Right away. What are you talking about? 3 weeks. Unemployment. Okay. They've added a sizable cushion to help those, and that's great. But when can they start receiving those benefits? Possibly a week to 2 weeks. And that's me being hopeful. These next 7 days now. Let's talk about, from the next 7 to 14 days. It's gonna be crazy, and my stance is, I still stand on that. And now the president had to declare, but he couldn't really go in the way, because it doesn't put him in a favorable light, even though, hey, he's trying. I guess, I don't know. I don't know. What do you think is gonna happen when people are hungry and they have no money? What do you think is gonna happen? People are already outside in New York City. They're already outside just for being outside. Just for the sake of being outside. Because I'm not gonna think for somebody else. This is just what I've observed. So when when the stomach starts to rumble and they have no way to pay for food, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen when more first responders are becoming more ill and contracting the disease? When first responders such as police, law enforcement, are removed from the force, are removed from the streets, and people are hungry and angry and broke and jobless, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? Civil unrest, looting, riot. And then what do you think the answer to that will be? People talk about lockdown now and can't take it. They talking about lockdown now and they simply can't take it. So if there's upheaval in the streets, if there's chaos in the streets, you know that can't last forever. That doesn't stay. It doesn't last forever. The government puts in their martial law measures to lock us down. Seriously, these next 2 weeks are going to be very, very painful. God bless people who are going to succumb to the illness. God bless them. God bless people who are going to succumb just within the next, you know, several days in general. May their souls find solace and peace through their transition. And God, or the higher power, creator, whatever you want to call it, you believe in a higher power, may all of us also be covered and protected from the madness, the confusion, the turbulent, unconscionable acts of a few, and may their ill-fated deeds not land on us.